Let's bring in Chris Ochimringa live from Kinshasa for more. Chris, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us here on Africa Live. Chris, what's the latest on the fighting in the eastern regions and what's happening in Lunyasenge town?
Well, Richard, fighting has intensified in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo over the past week, and most of the fighting is happening in some towns and villages in North Kivu and areas in South Kivu province. The M23 rebels have continued capturing more territory, and that's despite a ceasefire that was signed late last month in Qatar, Doha, by both the Congolese government and the M23 rebels. And we have heard that the pro-government militia known as Wazalendo have said that they will continue fighting until the M23 and their Rwandan backers leave all the territories that they have captured in eastern DRC. And recently we heard the leader of the Alliance Fleuve Congo, which is the political wing of the M23 rebel group, Corneille Nangaa, saying that they will continue fighting. They will not respect the ceasefire because there's a big problem in the DRC, and they're saying that problem is President Felix Tshisekedi. As long as he's in power, there'll be no respect of the ceasefire, so they will continue fighting. The situation in Lunyasenge is very fluid right now because the rebels are in control of that area. Very many people have fled to neighboring towns, and some of these people, had just returned back after being chased away by the M23 from camps in near Goma. And so they have been moving from one area to another despite all these efforts that are being made to bring peace in the area. And so it's a very tense situation. International organizations are calling on both the Congolese army, the Wazalendo and M23 rebels to stop fighting, but their calls have gone unheeded. Richard?
Chris, let's talk more about that. There were measures adopted to monitor the ongoing negotiations in Doha and Washington. And there were also expectations of a draft ceasefire deal between the DRC and Rwanda by now. How much do we know about these processes so far, and has there been any progress?
Yeah, so Rwanda and the DRC were supposed to meet in Washington, D.C. on Friday to submit this draft peace plan. According to some Congolese officials who have been following this development very closely, the two sides met. There has been no official communique about what exactly this draft peace plan will look like, but this official I spoke to said that there were some disagreements between both sides about how peace should be implemented in eastern DRC. The United States government wants them to respect each other's sovereignty, territorial integrity. There also is an economic integration framework. Both sides have to come up with trade deals that will ensure that both countries prosper from the minerals that are found in eastern DRC. Now, that is a very contentious issue. Many people in the DRC have been saying that they have lost very many people in this conflict. The economy has been devastated, and so they do not want the United States to dictate how things should be going on between them and Rwanda. They want this idea to pass through the Congolese parliament, and then they are the ones who are supposed to determine how they should deal with Rwanda. There's also another very sticky issue about the repatriation of refugees who fled eastern DRC over the past 30 years of this conflict. These are specifically Congolese Tutsis who have fled to neighboring countries like Rwanda, Uganda, Burundi, Tanzania. There are thousands of them. They're supposed to be repatriated back to the east of the DRC, and that's a very controversial issue as well, because there are Congolese who are living in some of those areas, and it might spark another conflict. So there's still a discussion. The United States is talking to both sides to ensure that they harmonize their position and come up with a peace plan. According to the United States, a final peace plan is supposed to be reached by June this year. So people are very eagerly waiting to see the outcome of these talks in the U.S. and Doha. Richard?